Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. So, we are at the end of our series Basics of Management, and the last function of management, which is controlling, we will be covering in this video. Right? So, controlling is a function of management, we all know. It is a process basically of monitoring performance and taking actions to ensure desired results. So organization is working for fulfillment of some objectives and goals. So for that they plan, they organize, they staff, and at the end they also control, which is about monitoring the performance, what you are performing. Are is your performance meeting the goals, meeting the desired results, meeting the standards, meeting the objectives? So that is controlling all about. It sees to it that the right things happen in the right ways and at the right time. Done well, it ensures that the overall directions of the individuals and groups are consistent with short and long range plans of the organization. So it is all about ensuring that everything is going as per plans, everything is going in the direction of meeting the objectives and the goals. It helps ensure that objectives and accomplishments are consistent with one another throughout an organization, right? That whatever you are accomplishing, what is your performance, what you are achieving is actually consistent with the objectives that you set in the past. So that is controlling about. It helps maintain compliance with essential organizational rules and policies. So according to Coons and Donnell, controlling implies measurement of accomplishment performance against the standard and the collection of deviations to assure attainment of objectives according to plans. So it is basically about establishment of standards, right? That is, it implies measurement of accomplishment and performance against these standards. So first you will have to establish the standards, then you measure the performance, and then you compare if the performance is meeting the set standards, right? So it is measurement of accomplishment performance against the standards, right? We are at the third step, and the last one is if there's correction and deviation, then you will make sure that these your objectives and plans are met. If you compare that if there's a deviation or anything, right? If there's a deviation between standards and the performance, then you will take corrective efforts, you will take corrective actions. So this is controlling all about. You will take remedial actions, the last step. So it is all about measuring your accomplishment and performance against the standards, and you will correct, and the correction of deviation, if there's any deviation you will correct them, right? So that is controlling function, right? You have a control system in an organization about which we will study. Basically management control, again, it is the actions used by the management to guide people, machine and functions to attain organizational goals and objectives. A system is basically if you have a systematic process and structure that management uses in management control. So it is one of the managerial function like planning, organizing, staffing and directing. It is an important function because it helps to check the errors and to take the corrective actions so that deviation from standards are minimized and stated goals of the organization are achieved in desired manner. So that is controlling all about, to minimize the deviations from the objectives, standards and achievement of the desired goals in desired manner. So that is controlling about. Management control is concerned with coordination. You will have to ensure there's coordination, there's proper resource allocation, people are motivated enough to work, and performance measurement. You are measuring their performance, that it is going as per the standards, as per the plans, as per the objectives. The practice of management control and the design of management control systems draws upon a number of academic disciplines. So we have various disciplines of the knowledge of those disciplines we use in facilitating the control. One of them is management accounting, as management control involves extensive measurement and it is therefore related to and requires contributions from accounting. especially management accounting, because it involves measurement of performance management. So you need to have the check on balance sheets, check on all the accounting statements that you are achieving the objective to. So to compare the performance with the objective, you need to have the information, the measurement information. So for extensive measurement, you need to have the information of accounting. So you need to have the knowledge of accounting. Second, it involves resource allocation decisions and is therefore related to and requires contribution from economics, especially managerial economics, right? It involves communication, motivation, which means it is related to and must draw contributions from social psychology, especially organizational behavior. So you need to have the knowledge of OB, organizational behavior, to facilitate control, because you need to involve communication, how you communicate these standards, they set the objectives to the people, to the workforce. So it involves communication, it involves time to time motivation, coordination, all that, which is a function of management organizational behavior. You have various controlling aids. You can use aids to facilitate control. One of them is budgeting. Budget is a statement of anticipated results during a designated time period, expressed in financial and non-financial terms. So budget covers a designated time period, say 1 year, the budget for this year. So it states intervals during that time period. Uh, you can have actual performance compared with the budget. So you have a specific budget for everything, for every task of the organization. You have targets, you have schemes. So it is financial and non-financial, it covers both the terms. And you can have a budget to facilitate control. For example, sales budget, production budget, capital expenditure budget, cash budget, master budget. So you can have various forms of budgets, so that you make a control over the cost, over the functions. Then you have standard costing, that the cost of production determines the profit earned by the enterprise. This system involves a comparison of the actuals with the standards. So again, you are establishing the standards for the costing, and then you can compare if your actual costing is going as per the standards or not. And if there's discrepancy, which we call variance, then you can take various uh, corrective measures, right? So there are various steps involved in costing. So we basically set up the standard costing for various components of functioning, business functioning, that are raw material, labor, their salaries, their wages. Then you measure the actual performance, then you compare the both, then you find the variance of actual from the standard, and then you find the cause, and then you take the necessary action to prevent the occurrence of variance in future. Then also you can use responsibility accounting, which is basically, you can have departmental heads who can facilitate control by responsible accounting, by by like measuring the performance of his or her department, by taking control over that. You can also facilitate control through reports, that is providing the reports, timely reports, departmental reports of everything, of the functions, to provide information to the management, so that they can facilitate control and planning, so that they get the actual information through reports, that what are these, how much of the sales target have been met for the week. So regular reports can also help controlling. Then you have standing orders, rules and limitations, which can also control the performance. This is also used by the management. They are issued by the management, and they are to be observed by the subordinate, of course. They are facilitating the rules, they are making the rules and limitations on every functions. They are issuing the standing orders, which the subordinates have to follow. Then you have personal observation. A manager can himself or herself also exercise fruitful control over his or her subordinates by observing them while they are engaged in the work. So this is one another way of controlling. So these are various control aids we use for controlling. And at the end of this topic, Let's discuss 5 key responsibilities of a manager. So manager plans, he sets objectives and determines strategy to achieve them. He organizes, right? He assign personnel and allocate resources. He lead, he motivate them, he coach them, he support them, he guide the staff whenever required. He also control, he monitors the performance, he takes follow-ups, he evaluate and he solve the problems, what is going wrong. And he also involves in communication, that he communicate about everything. So he disseminate the information, he distribute the information. So these are 5 key responsibilities of a manager. So with this, we are done with our basics of management series. I hope you like this series. Thank you. Have a great day.